Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sonic CD. Do you like Labyrinth Zone? No? Well, neither do I, but I think Tidal Tempest is at least better than Labyrinth Zone. Or at least I have more fun with Tidal Tempest than I do with Labyrinth Zone. I think that's probably why, because, like, Labyrinth Zone, it's probably, like, in how the format of CD and Sonic 1 are, because it's as obvious as people have told in, like, forum discussions and commentary, retrospectives, and all that sort of stuff, is that CD is more of an upgrade from 1, or a continuation of that sort of style, than 2 is, since 2 was developed by Sonic Team and STI with a mixture of American and Japanese developers, whereas CD was entirely in Japan. I was going to quit right there, but I decided not to, because I figured I'd just stick out with it. So, that's probably why they went with more of an evolution of Sonic 1's design, and not where 2 went. As you can tell, a lot of this stuff is rather off the cuff and whatnot. I didn't know if I should have, like, a list of stuff to go over or anything with commentary like this, because, you know, I guess it really depends on what sort of style people prefer, because this is obviously a bit more natural and whatnot, but I do try and have a few things rattling around my head before I do these. And as of recording this right now, I actually just uploaded part 1, and I was thinking about this as I was sort of hovering over the publish button, is at least my concern with doing these, because originally my original idea for this was going to be sort of commentary retrospectives, a la the Snake or Trav guy, those sorts of videos. My concern with that sort of style, or even doing this sort of commentary in general, is, will my enjoyment of the game come through my delivery, or how I talk? Because, as you've probably noticed, I'm a rather subdued sort of guy. Like, I'll get excited, obviously, but, you know, I can't, like, yell or anything of that sort, or I try to keep my voice down. So that's one such reason. So I just decided, oh, the hell with it, let's just go with Let's Plays. So, right there, obviously, that was the robot generator for Tidal Tempest Zone 1. And you're not gonna miss it. Like, if you see, like, that pipe coming out from there, then you know you found it. I think it's probably the easiest robot generator to find in the entire game, I'll be honest with you. Ah, Night City. A city. At night. Stellar naming convention right there. I actually just started Cyberpunk, like, I think a month ago. I've been trying to... I have a backlog about a country mile long, so I've been trying to pluck away at it. Like, Final Fantasy XIV's newest patch came out. I actually just finished the main story quests for that. Cyberpunk I've been taking a break on. I want to get to Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, the newest Yakuza game, but I just haven't really had the time to sit down and buy it and play it. And also because computer space is a bit of a luxury. Like, I got Cyberpunk on my SSD as well as Monster Hunter Wilds. I do need to get back to that. Like, I went back to Rise, like, as Wilds was coming out, because I own Rise on the Switch, but not as far as I was. I was farther in Rise on the Switch than I was on PC. Like, when I went back to Rise on PC, I saw that I only, like, I was on, like, I think, rank 2 Village, I think? So, I was just playing Rise on PC, just sort of speed ran Village, and I'm up to Sunbreak at the moment. I haven't started Sunbreak, but I have the urgent quest to unlock Sunbreak. So that's what I've been doing in the meantime. But yeah, you'll notice for like, I think as I was going back over the footage for this part, the next 3 special stages, I sort of get like screwed over by the the movement of the UFOs. So I just had to sort of lock in, especially for, I think, it might be the next one. Yeah, it's going to be the next one, because that's going to be the number 6. If my math is correct. Yeah, it's going to be number 6. There's 7 time stones, so we're almost done. We almost got that good ending locked in, so there's that. So, Tidal Tempest Act 2. They call them zones in CD. For some reason, I think it's just a naming thing, really. Act, zone. They're really interchangeable, I'll be honest with you. Now this is another easy one, I think. At least I want to say. Of course, this is coming from someone who has not found every single robot generator. Because, like, you absolutely can. Like, there's nothing wrong if you choose to go after the robot generators instead of doing the time zones. Because, you know, the special stages aren't for everybody. Like, they can be pains in the ass. But I like the special stages here. I think I've only ever failed one of them once, I think. But, again, I could be misremembering. There is one annoying bit of Tidal Tempest, which is those little air jets there. Because there is a segment here which I think I didn't get to when I was going through. Of course, I could be wrong again, so it'll pop up. It'll pop up on screen, and I'll point it out. But there's a bit where there's rows of blocks going left and right, and you have those air jets going forward, going back and forth, and they just push you away. So you'll hit the rock, and you'll just fall down, and you'll go back underwater. It's really, really annoying. It's like the one thing I have a problem with in this level. It also seems like you lose air a lot faster here than in most games. In most of the 2D Sonic games. Once again, I could be wrong. I think it's just a feeling thing. So yeah, like, we're coming up on the robot generator here. So yeah, once you go to there, and there it is right there. And I almost squished myself right here. Yep, there. Probably gave myself a heart attack. Now, are you guys ready for a little epilepsy warning? Because for some reason, Sonic Team decided that the best thing to do for the special stage, for Special Stage 6, is just rainbow lava lamp. I don't understand it. Also, those little cylindrical things in the background look kind of like the hills from Mario. For some reason. I don't know why. They were probably on something. It was 93. Who knows? But yeah, it's this special stage that I had some trouble with, and you'll notice near the end, where I'm seeing the pattern of the UFO that I'm trying to get, and I'm just having trouble just hitting it. It's just going back and forth in a singular line. So, therefore, it took me like, I think a few minutes or so. But again, you'll see. Oh, another thing I didn't mention is the soundtrack. So, famously, or infamously, Sonic CD has two soundtracks. There's the original soundtrack employed for the Japanese and European release, which you're hearing now, which is you're going to hear through the entire playthrough. And then there's a soundtrack made entirely for the American release. I don't really remember the reason why the soundtrack was changed. I'll double check that, and I'll probably put it up on screen, the reason why. But long story short, it leads to a lot of debates as to what soundtrack folks prefer. And this is the UFO I was talking about, the one that I was having trouble with. So, personally, I'm of the opinion that it's like a sort of like a two cake situation. It's like, yeah, I got two good soundtracks, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, the US soundtrack is more I wouldn't say experimental. That's not the right word. It's more evocative of the. It's more subdued in, like, 90s, is probably a good way to say it, whereas CD's original soundtrack takes a lot of inspiration from various other genres. Like the US one is just primarily, like, rock, it's rock-centric, which, I like rock music. The Japanese soundtrack is more evocative of, like, house music, New Jack Swing, and just sort of out there stuff, and sampling. It uses a lot of samples, too, which I do like. I do like both soundtracks, so, and I think if you were to hold a gun to my head and ask me which one I preferred, I couldn't give you a straight answer. You'd probably have to... Nah, I won't go there. But, yeah, I do like both soundtracks, and I think choosing between a preference... If you did have to, I'm contradicting myself here, but if I did have to have a preference, I usually do play with the American soundtrack, only because, like, you know, that's the first soundtrack I heard for it, so obviously I'm gonna prefer that one, but I do like both of them. So, Tidal Tempest's good future is more of a botanical garden of sorts, and I mess up, what I usually tend to do for starting the boss fight, because here we just have to hit Eggman a few times, then he runs away, and then he goes to the arena. I kind of mess up hitting him a few times, so then I have to do another lap, and you know, I could have just restarted. Yeah, right there, I somehow lost the shield, which threw me for a loop. Because usually what's going to happen is you hit him there, you hit him twice down that shaft, and you go into the arena with the invincibility. But I guess I just messed up here. This is really another example of CD's boss fights being a little easier than you would expect. So, we're underwater. So, how the hell are you going to survive? Well, Eggman's going to cover himself in air bubbles, and the only way to hit him, you have to hit him one time, is to just get rid of all the bubbles, and then hit him. Again, I do like this game, and I do think they are experimenting. This is just the experimenting game, I think. Like, I can see the vision with CD, and a lot of my friends don't really like CD, at least the ones I talk to online, they don't really care for it. But I like CD. I'm the one Sonic CD defender. I can see the vision. My third eye is open, I guess. Shabba-doo-bop-bop. So, Quartz Quadrant. Oh. So there's one change with the re-release that I don't show off in the footage here. I had to cut it out because I had to start over. But the main gimmick here is that you have those switch that change between up and down. So, what I just did there, if you, in the original version, if you had the pass sign, you could jump down there. You could jump up and down there, and it would launch you up and then back, and you could time travel that way. In the re-release, that doesn't happen. So I had to get a little creative here. So going through there, you have to be going really fast, otherwise it won't work. And that's why I had to restart here, because it just did not work. And that's going to be the death of me. I do hit those stalagmites or stalactites. I get the two confused. I get the two terms confused. But I do accidentally hit them a few times. And because this is the last time stone we get, I kind of forget where the robot generator is here. Like, you could tell I'm trying to find it, but this is like the one that I just don't have memorized. Like, I know it's somewhere, but I just can't find it. Like, I know where it is in Act 2, but Act 1 is mildly difficult. Like, I was probably thinking of where Act 2's is, and not Act 1's. But, again, it's probably further up top, probably. I imagine it's probably further up top. And this bit near the end, I'm just thinking, that's the end of the stage. Should I go back and try looking for it? And I just, like, nah. We got the last time zone coming up. We can do it. Where do we go for the final special stage? Space. John Madden, John Madden, John Madden, John Madden. I kind of do lock in for this last special stage. I say as I miss the UFO, then I get there. But yeah, this is probably like the one of the few times where I do actually lock the hell in. Oh, look at him go. He's crashing the UFOs. They brought back the UFOs for Mania special stages, and I think Mania special stages are probably like the hardest special stages that I've had to deal with since probably Sonic Rush's, because Sonic Rush's special stages, from what I remember, I had a really tough time with them, especially the last one. Like, that's probably the hardest special stage in the series. Which I say when I haven't played Advance 1, 2. I haven't played Advance 1, 2, and 3 special stages, and I've heard that they're pains in the ass. So, we got all the time stones, so we don't have to worry about robot generators or anything of the sort. We can just play through the rest of the game. We can just still go to the past and whatnot. Oh, this is an interesting thing. So, I map out the path I'm going to take. And I try to go to the future, but what's gonna happen is I was very surprised by this. So I got the future sign, and I'm about to go, And as I go, you hear past. I got the past sign as I was about to travel to the future. It overrode it so that now I go to the past. I thought that was quite interesting. I didn't know that that could happen. Honestly, you learn... the more you play these games, the more you learn new things about them. And that's a dickish spike placement right there. But yeah, if you go to the future and the past, you're gonna go to the present. You get the idea. It's simple shit, really. And again, dickish spike placement. And I think here is probably the next it's the next indoor segment, I think, where the robot generator is. And you'll see that because we have the time stones, or all the time stones, the generators are all destroyed because, you know, the bad future doesn't exist anymore. Oh, it's a little weird that they're destroyed in the present too. I'm assuming that's just they probably just stopped working because of how much time has passed. But, you know, regardless, we don't have to worry about it anymore. You're Quartz Quadrant Act 3. I always thought of this as sort of like as the good future, sort of like a biosphere sort of place, but no, there's mountains in the background. There's no, like, glass pane or anything. There is one thing with the American soundtrack I find a little funny, is that the start of Quartz Quadrant's Good and Bad Future are very slightly similar. There's a very slight difference to them, but at the very start of them. Anyway, time for the stupidest fucking Eggman machine ever. So, it's a conveyor belt. You just dodge the ball, you move back, and Eggman just lowers because of all the friction with the conveyor belt. As I said, they're experimenting here, but this is still probably the dumbest invention the man has ever made. 300 IQ my fucking ass. But, I mean, yeah, it's like, it's an endurance run, yeah, but like, come on. You really couldn't think, you really couldn't think this one through? It's like, if I put the conveyor belt on this moving spot, it's just gonna just destroy itself. Idiot. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for watching. That's gonna wrap it up here. So, I want to keep these videos down to around 20-ish minutes. So, on that note, thank you very much for watching. I hope you look forward to part 3, where we go to Wacky Workbench and Stardust Speedway. You guys have a great day.